What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Nomad Reviews Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank 2024, a very polarizing show if you frequent Twitter or any other social media site, and one whose opinion of mine is probably not going to be the popular opinion, honestly, based on what I've seen. So many people hated the show. I don't think the NXT Heatwave pay-per-view being better did it any favors. But I don't think this show is nearly as bad as everyone made it out to be. I feel like there's some results that happened in this show that maybe didn't go everyone's way. And I do feel like the IWC in general, and I've said this in the past, they're very much getting to the point where if their guy or girl doesn't win, the show sucked. That's not how this works. That's not how this business has ever worked. That's not how this industry continues to move forward. The issue with a lot of these, when things get popular again, you get a lot of new fans. And when you get a lot of new fans, you get a lot of people that don't fully understand how this thing works. A little bit of a different example here is baseball. I'm a Baltimore Orioles fan. The Orioles are good for the first time in like 10 years. And when I say good, I mean like legitimately good. We've made the playoffs in 2016, 2017. We weren't good, right? The Orioles won 100 games last year, and they're trending to win 100 more again this year. We're actually doing better than we did last year at this point in the season. So we're literally playing better. Lots of new fans have come around, and it's like every time we lose, all these new baseball fans that have never watched baseball before don't seem to realize that in order to win 100 games, you have to lose 62. It's like you don't seem to realize, one loss is not a big deal. You're going to lose games. You're going to get blown out some games. The pitching is just not going to work. The other team's just going to hit the hell out of you. The other team's pitchers are going to shut you down. It happens 62 times if you win 100 games. If you win 105, it still happened 57 times or whatever the number ends up coming out to. I don't think people that are new to wrestling fully realize how this industry works. And I know a lot of AEW fans are coming back to WWE. A lot of WWE fans are going to watch AEW and coming back. And the thing is, AEW and WWE work in two entirely different ways. AEW, all about the wrestling. WWE, all about the entertainment, all about the stories, all about the engaging inter-story matches and so on and so forth. And I don't think people realize that those two promotions run differently for a reason. They should not run the same way. You should not expect AEW to run like the WWE. You should not expect the WWE to run like AEW. Expecting it is literally completely defeating the purpose of having an alternative. If WWE was exactly like AEW, there'd be no reason to watch AEW. And I don't think people realize that. That's kind of my take on this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up repeating myself into the ground before too long, so let's move on to the actual breakdown of this card. Another 5-match card, because that seems to be Triple H's calling card here. We have the men's Money in the Bank, Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest, the women's Money in the Bank match, and the 6-man tag match that main evented the show. On the other side there, you have Rob's ratings, and above you have Kane's ratings. I will give my rating, I will average the 3 out, and that will come to what we put these matches at on the big board here. Rob, of course, as always, if you're used to my reviews here, Rob always grades everything on an A, B, C, D, F grade. I grade things 0 through 10, as does Kane. Makes it a little bit easier, but that's easier for Rob to wrap his poor little brain around, so it's okay, we let him do it. We're going to start things off with the first match of the night, and that is the men's Money in the Bank match. The men's Money in the Bank match included LA Knight, Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, Jey Uso, Yeet. It also included Andrade, and it included, of course, Drew McIntyre. Now, I'm going to talk about the ending on its own. I'm going to first start talking about the match itself. I fucking love this match. I thought this match was much better than last year's. I thought this match was phenomenal. I thought there was extremely good chemistry amongst the entire crowd of wrestlers. I thought Carmelo Hayes finally got his opportunity to show up on a PLE, and he absolutely showed up. I would love to see him and Andrade, 20-minute banger. Give it to me. They have such good chemistry. It was so much fun to watch them wrestle each other. It was so much fun to see LA Knight get involved with the young kid. he excelled. Carmelo Hayes might have been the MVP of this entire match. I thought Jey Uso finally put to bed the rumors that he can't compete in these big matches. Jey Uso looked phenomenal in this match. Chad Gable, Jesus, what more can you say about Pert Gable, man? The man German suplexed a ladder, okay? Absolutely phenomenal. I thought Andrade looked amazing. Drew McIntyre was honestly the weak part of this entire match, if I'm being perfectly honest here, and he ends up winning the match. I understand why a lot of people are upset that Drew McIntyre won. I understand that. But I think people need to realize that there was no good winner. Literally, 0 members of this match are going to cash in on Gunther, who is the assumptive World Heavyweight Champion after SummerSlam, or Cody Rhodes. Or if Solo Sikoa beats him at SummerSlam, Solo Sikoa, that's clearly going to be the Roman Reigns storyline going over there on SmackDown. You're not going to cash in on that. That's fucking stupid. Anyone trying to make a case, oh, well, they could take it for like a month and then he could take it back. But that's still distracting him from Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. That's a breaking up the storyline. We don't do dumb shit like that in the WWE. Like, stupid, dumb, absolutely dumb. People were saying Jey Uso should win so that he could get back involved in the bloodline. Stupid, dumb. He's on his own. He's on Raw. They're on SmackDown for a reason. Dumb, stupid, move on. I understand giving the briefcase to Drew McIntyre. What we're going to talk about later, of course, happens. We knew it was going to happen. Very predictable, but still entertaining. And I'm okay with it because of those 2 reasons. 1, we'll talk about in the World Heavyweight Championship match. It advanced another storyline that I don't think a lot of people are thinking about. And 2, there was no good winner of this match. LA Knight, he's already got a title shot at SummerSlam. He's fighting Logan Paul. We already know that. This was just to get him on the card. He excelled. Showed that he should be U.S. champion, in my opinion. We'll see if that happens at SummerSlam. Doesn't need this. Andrade, you might have been able to make the case for that. Maybe Andrade cashes in on Gunther. Maybe he does the whole, hey, Gunther, I want to fight you. Here's my briefcase. Let's fight. Because that shit would be a banger. But you could probably get that anyway without using the Money in the Bank briefcase. Andrade's winning all his matches. He has a clear-cut case for a World Heavyweight Championship match, and I think he's earned one based on his performance here. I think the odd man out here is Carmelo Hayes, and if anything, I think he proved that he could probably hang with the U.S. title scene. I think you let it go there. Jey Uso didn't need it. Chad Gable's got the Wyatt Six situation going on. None of them needed to win this match, in my opinion, but I understand other people's opinions on it. I gave this match a 9 out of 10 for the action involved in the match. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought everything was fluid. I thought the moves were great. I loved the Spanish Fly that Andrade did. All the moves off the ladder were phenomenal. The fucking spear that Chad Gable took after falling from the top where the briefcase was, bouncing off the ground, Jey Uso timed that spear perfectly. I thought everything was great, except maybe the finish was a little bit predictable and maybe a miss. Because again, I didn't think Drew McIntyre did too much in this match. That's just my opinion on it. Rob gave this match a 10 out of 10A. He told me this last night. That is a 10 out of 10A. He thought this match was a fucking all-time classic. He's probably the only one, in my opinion, that thought the men's Money in the Bank match was better than the women's. We'll talk about that later. I gave his match a 9. Kane, above me here. For the Money in the Bank match, I wasn't exactly excited going into this year. I thought the build has been a little lackluster. I can see that. That being said, this match was great. Lots of great spots. Did a lot to feature Carmelo as an up-and-coming star. And it's the best Andrade has looked since his return. Love the armbar into a springboard leg drop. That's just ridiculous, and it's great. Some may be mad that Drew won, given what happens, but I think it was the right choice for the story being told. I also still don't get why people don't like Jey Uso. Is he the best in ring? No. But he's just so likable as a personality that, who cares? Anyway, great match, and while I'd love to see a year where both Money in the Bank holders keep the damn case for longer than a cup of coffee, this was good. 8 out of 10. Rob's 10, my 9, his 8 is going to end up averaging out to a 9. That is where we are going to put it. Moving on, we have Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. I loved this match, mostly because I love Sami Zayn. The man can do no wrong to me. He is absolute perfection. I loved the display for Braun Breaker here. I thought Braun, again, you notice a trend here with a lot of these up-and-coming NXT stars. A lot of them got their chance to shine in this match, and I really, really, really think that the sky is the limit for all of them, including Ilya, who unfortunately was not in this match, this PLE. Still phenomenal. Still great. Loved it. I thought it was an amazing display for Braun. I thought he finally got his adversity. A lot of people wanted Braun Breaker to win. Again, I get it. But the thing is, like, so many people hated this match because of the finish. Fuck the rest of the match, apparently. The rest of the match that was a banger, doesn't matter. The ending ruined it. I don't agree with that one bit. He has beaten Gunther, Roman Reigns, the Usos. He ended their title run. This is not a slouch. This is not your underdog Sami Zayn anymore. This is top dog Sami Zayn. This is Sami Zayn who, quite frankly, I don't think needs the Intercontinental title anymore. I think Sami Zayn has cemented himself as a champion, and I think Sami Zayn should absolutely be in the World Heavyweight Championship picture going forward, especially if Gunther wins. I think Gunther should get his lick back when they do fight again, but I absolutely can see that match happening again, maybe at Survivor Series, maybe at one of the other PLEs coming up. There's a lot of them coming up. Don't want to see it at WrestleMania again, but I do think that you could definitely see that match get run back here at some point, and I think it would bang just like the last one did. As far as this match is concerned, I gave this match an 8 out of 10. Sami looked great, phenomenal sequences. Sami is, again, allergic to bad matches. Braun looked great. I like this match a lot. As you can see, Rob agreed with me, gave this match a B. Kane gave his match an A, gave his match a 9 out of 10. Normally when you go one-on-one with a normal superstar, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But Braun is a genetic freak. He's not normal, so you got a 25% chance at best of beating him. But this is Sami Zayn, maybe the greatest underdog in wrestling history, question mark. So Braun's chances of winning drastically go down. Sami wins in a banger match every damn time, and this is no different. I'm done with the accent there. Braun Breaker's a future world champion. While I'd love to see him get the Intercontinental title and go on and run a crazy run, we just had that with Gunther, and honestly, I don't even think Braun needs the Intercontinental title. At this rate, he's going week on week. He could be world champion coming out of Mania 41, and I don't think I'd have a single complaint. He's the fucking guy. He's got it all. By the way, Braun Breaker is Scott Steiner's nephew, which is why he typed that in, and I tried my best at Scott Steiner release, but, you know, I miss. Kane said a 9. Me and Rob both said an 8, so of course the average there, 889. It's going to end up being on that 8833 list, so it is going to end up being an 8 out of 10. Still a great fucking match. I enjoyed it. I don't understand everyone's complaints. Next up, we have what is probably the most controversial match on this card, and we'll get to that in a little bit here. It's also probably the weakest on all of our lists. We have the Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins match. Also, Drew McIntyre is here. We knew he was going to cash it in. Drew McIntyre said he was going to cash it in on this match if he won the briefcase. He stayed true to his word. Here's the thing about this, okay? There was a lot of stipulations going into this match. If Drew McIntyre won, Seth Rollins cannot, if Damian Priest won, Seth Rollins cannot challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship as long as Damian Priest is champion. Of course, he's only going to be champion for one more month, so who the fuck cares? The other stipulation was much more pressing. If Seth Rollins won, or Damian Priest lost, he was kicked out of Judgment Day. Obviously, a much more major issue. Damian Priest wants to prove that he can win without other people getting involved, and unfortunately, he was spoiled once again because of Drew McIntyre cashing in the briefcase. CM Punk comes in, fucking beats the shit out of Drew McIntyre, which, to be fair, he earned it this time. An absolute ball, just choked the shit out of him, beat him with the chair, so on and so forth. He comes in, south of heaven, Damian Priest wins. Now, this is a major thing that most people aren't thinking about, and this is why I'm okay with Drew McIntyre cashing in his briefcase here. Seth Rollins got fucked by Punk, which means that rivalry is back on. That is a major, major, major thing that came out of this match that no one's talking about. Because of that, I am 100% okay with the use of the Money in the Bank briefcase here. I know that it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I know a lot of people are going to be upset by it. I don't have an issue with it whatsoever. I think it was the right move. Because like I said earlier, you either waste it on a mid-card title or you waste it on Gunther or Cody Rhodes and you lose. There's no winning here for any other member of the men's Money in the Bank match. As Kane said here, a bit sloppy feeling matchup until the Drew McIntyre cash-in. I agree with him 100%. Seth does not quite feel like he's 100% to me. I honestly think that maybe it was his first match since coming back. Maybe he was getting the cobwebs out. If that's the case, I'm fine with it. 80% Seth Rollins is still better than most of the wrestlers. I think it was this match's detriment. I also think the other big issue with this match, because they knew Drew McIntyre was going to cash it in, they spent like the first half of the match staring down the ramp, waiting for Drew to come in. You're taking me out of the match. You're taking yourself out of the match. It hurt the match overall, in my opinion. Priest feels like he's more of a cog in the machine of other people's storylines instead of being presented as a top guy. That's a damn shame because he's great. He's honestly proven that he's great in this reign. Unfortunately, that was the case here as well. Priest was able to retain, and there's a story building within the Judgment Day. It's clear that this was less about him and more about progressing Drew versus Punk with yet another interference screwing Drew. I will say this. The big botch that everyone is talking about that happened in this match, I am recording this on Monday, so there's a good chance that this is a pointless conversation here when I finally upload this. I'm recording this a little bit later than I wanted to. This could get explained tonight on Monday Night Raw, but I really don't think that the botch was Drew McIntyre or was Damian Priest's fault. I think Drew McIntyre's music was supposed to hit on the 2 count. The ref was going to get distracted. Seth Rollins was going to pull out of the pin to stare at the arena, get ready for him to come down, so he's not jumped while trying to pin. Had that gone as planned, because if you even notice on the 2 count, the lights went up. So the lights went up in the arena, the music doesn't play. I think there was a production issue here that caused the botch, not so much Damian Priest. Should he have still kicked out to be safe? 110%. That you can blame on him. But I do not believe that that was the scripted point, and I think that's where a lot of people are making the mistake. Again, think, guys. Use your brains a little bit, okay? That being said, I love this. The feud is amazing. I really hope Drew gets a big win out of it at some point because he really needs it. I think sparking that fire between Seth and Punk again is fun. I love how Michael Cole is conflicted about it all in commentary. Calling out Drew for being a hypocrite, but similarly calling out Punk as his continued actions continue to feel more malicious and heelish. Overall, he gave this match a 7 out of 10. Rob gave this match a 6 out of 10. I actually agree with Rob on this one. I gave it a 6 out of 10, so the average there, 2 out of 3, is going to make this match a 6. Again, that's not bad. The match was still good. It was not as good as their previous matches have been, in my opinion, but there's a lot of factors going against it. The Drew McIntyre interference, the Drew McIntyre distractions, and of course, Seth Rollins not being 100%, I think added all into this a little bit. Next we have, honestly, what, in my opinion, was an even better match than the men's. The women's Money in the Bank match. I absolutely loved this match. I thought that all the women were absolutely exceptional in this match. I thought you could have given this to anyone and it would have worked. If you gave it to Zoe Stark, I feel like you probably would have had fires and fights on the internet for the next 3 days, if not longer. So maybe it was probably a good idea not to give it to her. But I thought she was fucking excellent in it. I would have been okay if Io Sky won it again. I would have been okay if Lyra Valkyria won it again. But again, you know, you can only push one big superstar here. So if you're going to push one, I think Tiffany's done a little bit more to earn it. I thought Lyra was excellent against Nia Jax, Queen of the Ring. Tiffany Stratton has not had a true chance outside of that triple threat at Backlash to show her stuff. I think the briefcase is going to allow it. And I also think that as far as these women's titles go, again, think about who's holding the title on Raw. You're not going to cash in on Liv. That's Liv and Rhea. The women's championship on SmackDown is open. I think you have a great story with the title there. Tiffany is currently working with Nia, who's going to have that match against Bayley at SummerSlam. Tiffany can help her win. Nia Jax deserves that championship, in my opinion. And then you have a huge story going on where Nia Jax has to watch over her back while her new protege is currently holding a briefcase around her. I think that is an excellent story brewing on SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton was 100% the right person to win it. A lot of people want Naomi to win. And here's the thing. Naomi winning makes sense if you're going to have Bayley retain at SummerSlam. I don't think she retains at SummerSlam. I think Nia wins. Therefore, Tiffany Stratton winning the briefcase makes more sense from a story perspective. It adds more drama to it. Naomi, probably going to go heel. And I think she should, unless her husband doesn't. Because I would love to see her and Jimmy Uso kind of have a thing on screen again. Can't really do that if they're on opposite sides of the morality spectrum there. I thought the spots were great here. I thought that body slam that Io Sky did on Zoe Stark probably nearly killed both women. And this match was great. I thought you really got to see Lyra and Io go stiff with each other. They both come from that background. They better get used to it when Gilia comes up because she's going to be even stiffer than they are. This is great. It was a great showcase for women. Zoe Stark had that one little rough botch there. Lyra had the botch DDT. There's a couple of weird things when you're doing these high chaotic matches. They're going to happen. But overall, I thought the match banged. I thought it was great. I gave this match a 9 out of 10. Rob agrees, gave this match a 9 out of 10. Let's see what Kane said. Match of the night. I agree. This really felt like a showcase for the new guard of the women's division, in my opinion, and what a showcase it was. Speaking of that, if you've noticed, no 4 horsewomen, no big stars outside of Io Sky to give this match some legitimacy. Every single woman in here was trying to prove their worth. Chelsea Green, Chelsea Green was amazing. This is what the women's division needed, was this match right here. I agree. Incredible showings from Lyra and a big win for Tiffany Stratton, who's an absolute star. Io, as always, is incredible. Zoe Stark proved her value as a star here, in my opinion. People have not been giving her the respect she deserves for so long. She's so good. She puts herself through the ringer in this match. She's going to be a big name in the years to come. Zoe Stark needs to get her flowers. She's great in the ring. The woman needs to fix her personality. She does not have great charisma, great mic skills. That's going to hurt her in the eyes of a lot of fans in the WWE. I stand on my statement that I made before. Zoe Stark would excel in AEW. I legit think she would excel. Same thing for Ricochet. Ricochet's probably going to go to AEW. The man's going to be fucking elite over there. He doesn't have the personality of the water can. Like, it's just how it is. I think Zoe Stark is similar to Ricochet. She would excel in AEW. Will enjoy her ring work when she's in WWE. That's my opinion on that, though. She's so good. She puts herself... Yeah, I read that. And then we have Chelsea Green. My God. Chelsea Green. What a table spot. She is the Midas of the women's division right now. Everything she touches is gold. The future is bright for the women's wrestling. 9 out of 10. Almost a 10. We all gave it a 9. That's where it's going to go. Absolute banger of a match. These 2 matches cooked. People, I don't understand how you could say Money in the Bank was a mid or bad pay-per-view when you have these 2 matches on the card. They were both excellent. I don't care what you say. They were both fucking excellent. This might be the best women's Money in the Bank match of all time. That's my opinion. And finally, you have another controversial match on the card. Here you have the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Look, I don't see how you are a story-focused entertainer, a story-focused viewer of the WWE, and be shocked that Solo Sikoa pinned Cody Rhodes. My group was sitting in the living room, and my buddy David, who we just got him into wrestling when they came to Norfolk for Raw, the night that Nia Jax came back, I drove to Norfolk, Virginia, and watched Raw live. It was my buddy David's first time ever seeing wrestling. He had never watched it before, but he wanted to hang out with us. He went out with us. He became a Jey Uso fan day 1. He watched me cry when Mommy decided to get hurt by Nia Jax. He was hooked, right? Hooked. He shows up today, and he's like, man, I feel like, Cody Rhodes can't lose. Cody Rhodes can't lose. Like, he's the champ. I was like, no, listen. Solo Sikoa is going to pin Cody Rhodes tonight. And he's like, really? You're so certain about that? I was like, 100%. You have got to legitimize the Bloodline, and what better way to legitimize them than have Solo Sikoa pin Cody? That's it. Him pinning Randy, him pinning Kevin Owens. You don't need to protect Cody Rhodes here. You need to hurt Cody Rhodes. It's the only way to give this new Bloodline legitimacy. Jacob Fatu should probably be the Tribal Chief. I liked Solo Sikoa in this match. I've liked him as the Tribal Chief. I liked his character work he's done. In the ring, he still leaves a little bit to be, seen, but I like his character work a lot, and I think what he's saying is going to make the Roman pop even better when Roman comes back. Jacob Fatu, fucking animal. That man is going to be elite in his career in WWE. I thought Tonga Toma looked great. Tonga looked great. Tonga Loa looked like shit. But there is a clip on Twitter that you can find where he bounced his head off the fucking counter when, or the announcer table when Cody Rhodes did a suicide dive. That man was concussed. All right, I think we can give him a little bit of leeway because of that concussion. That's just my opinion on this. I gave this match a 7 out of 10. I thought the match wasn't terrible. I also thought that you needed this dismantling of the faces to really make this heel new Bloodline 2.0 have legitimacy. You just did. This is what was needed for this storyline, was exactly what I said. Solo Sikoa pinning Cody Rhodes. But again, the match was mostly one-sided for the most part. Therefore, 7 out of 10 is the best I can give it. Rob agrees with the B-, 7 out of 10. Kane also gave it a 7 out of 10, saying, "Finally, we had the main event, and while it was a lot of fun, I wasn't especially blown away by it. It's about what I expected going into it, lots of chaos and brawling, which I certainly enjoyed, but it didn't really ever go past good into great, in my opinion. I still really like Cody as the top guy, and I think this new angle is letting Solo shine a little more in ring. Jacob Fatu, meanwhile, got to really show how good he is in this match, and I definitely think he's going to continue impressing people more as the months continue. I like that Solo got the win, a good decision. I hope they can continue this momentum going forward because I think people have been a little too harsh on him so far. Big shoes to fill in his role, and I think now that he's not really trying to live up to the likes of Roman and do his own thing more, you can see he's getting more confident. I like the Mafia boss Solo more than I do whatever Roman was trying to be. Roman was the cocky dickhead. Solo is the Mafia boss. You do as I say or else you get taken out. I like that a lot better. So, we all agree, 7 out of 10. That's where it's going to go. Can't wait to see where that story goes from there. So, overall, this PLE was a 7.8 out of 10. That's damn good. That's a B+ show. I don't understand why people are saying this was a trash show. Everything banged in this match, man. Everything banged in this match. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I can't wait to see where the stories go. You can make some critiques on the botches. You can make some critiques on the Money in the Bank choice in terms of the men's. You cannot make any complaints about the women's unless you were just absolutely Naomi or no one, or Chelsea and no one. But I don't see how you complain about Tiffany Stratton getting the win. Yeah, I think everything here was perfect. I thought the stories that were told were great. I think this PLE was hurt in the minds of a lot of people because NXT Heatwave was just an absolute fucking banger of 5-star matches. So that's where I'm going to end it tonight, guys. You all have a fantastic day. We will see you next time here for SummerSlam. And maybe any gaming content. I am moving next weekend, so I won't be streaming too much this week. Obviously, I'm finishing Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail on my Twitch channel, which you can see me live at least 3 to 4 times a week. Typically in the middle of the week, and I try to get at least one in on the weekends. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit limited while I'm moving next weekend, and also visiting my mom this weekend for her birthday. So, a little bit limited over the next couple of weeks, but you will definitely see me back here, and you will also see me here on YouTube when SummerSlam comes around to review that one. So, I'd love to hear your opinions on Money in the Bank down below. I'd love to hear your predictions for SummerSlam. Do you think it's going to be a 5-match card, or do you think this one's going to be a 7 or 8-match card? I think 7. I think that's how many we're going to get. I'd love to see what you guys think are the 7 matches that we're going to see at SummerSlam. Let me know down below, and y'all have a fantastic day. Peace.